Come on, guys. Come on. It's like herding chickens, huh? Yep. Come on. Let's get on down here. Now, come on, Spooky. You gotta get away from my feet. You too, Cleo. Yep. They're waiting for their supper. Okay, guys. Here you go. There's you some salmon feast. Right there. Yep. There you go. Dinner time's on. Well, in some places, like the South, we call it supper time. And I know many of you like to see the Kitty Krew, and you're big fans. And many of you send them little treats and gifts, food and such. And we want to thank you all for that. We don't ask, and it's not expected, but it's surely a surprise when it sits on the front porch. But never fear, they're well stocked up for now. Through not only mine, but your generosity. But there you have it. They're loving their salmon. And they make fast work of it. Of course, they get served breakfast. Yep. Sometimes eggs and kit and caboodle. Yes, they do. And you saw them yesterday, having their chicken tender treat. That also was courtesy of many of you. But I thought it'd be nice and relaxing, since it's such a beautiful day in my neighborhood, to sit out here, watch the kitties eat, like I often do, weather permitting. Now that it's getting warmer, 72 today, with a light breeze, I have been out here spending time with them, getting things prepared to get the yard back in shape. But it gives me an opportune time while I'm sitting on the front porch, keeping an eye on them, because here of late, we've had an issue with some doggies that are left wild to roam. And I'll put out their food and go back in to find it all gone. And I know they didn't eat it. So now, when I feed them, I go ahead and sit out here with them. And there have been times here of late that a doggy or two just came up and wanted to chase them away and get their food. And I feel sorry for those doggies. I don't know who owns them and lets them run wild, but I can't feed the world. I got enough on my plate with everything. You know, currently we have Gracie in the house, these three, so there's my 4 full-time. And then of course we got our nightly visitors, Heathcliff and Fluffy Muffin too. And on occasion we do have another opossum, or possum as we call them in the South, visit us as well. They make fast work of it. But should they not eat it all, especially they're dry, I've been bringing it on in after they've had what they want and go wandering off for the day. You know, they're all big hunters. Or so they think. But I've never had to worry about mousies or rats or snakes. And they're all in fine health, as you can plainly see. But yeah, like I say, it gives me a good opportunity to chat with all of you. Listen to the birdies. They've been fed today. You know, my feathered friends that sing to me every day. And sometimes into the darkness of the night too. I was out here last night, checking on some things, before I went to bed. Pitch black it was. Around 1 in the morning. I was up late. And I could still hear birdies, wherever they were, chirping in the trees. I found that quite unusual. I can't say I can remember that before, but I'm sure I've heard it. Yeah, it looks like they're going to lick the plate clean. But I've read through the comments from the last video, and I try to get all the comments. Of course, as the videos age and time goes on, that becomes rather difficult. But if YouTube notifies me of a comment you've made on an older video, many of you all know I respond to that as well. At least with a thumbs up and a heart. Now there have been times where I'm down, having issues like all of you, that I've let some comments go. And it's almost impossible to go back and catch up on them all. Well, there you can see, Spooky's had all he wanted. So has Speedy. Cleo, you gonna clean up the plate? Yep, looks like Cleo's gonna get every last morsel left. But in reading the comments, I'm often asked questions. Some are far too, let's say, controversial for me to enter into. I don't like politics on the channel, and I'm not much into conspiracies. Though when I hear a new one crop up, I always investigate it myself. And often I find that conspiracy isn't what it's all cracked up to be in reality. You see, on social media, people use a lot of things. They take little snippets, little piece of this video or a piece of this article or what have you, a piece of speech from someone, whether it's a scientist, a politician, or teacher, or what have you. And they use it in the way that they wish to promote their beliefs and agendas that they want to come through. And in my analytical mind, that's what I'm always looking for. When people are putting out stuff on social media. I did it when all we had was the newspapers and magazine articles and the evening news. What's behind it all? What's driving this? And not always, but mostly, I found there's always agendas behind the hype. I think we can all agree to that, regardless of what the current mind thought is. And one of those things that's come out here of late is we've got a solar eclipse here. And I think it's April the 8th. And all over YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts and what have you, many are claiming it's going to signal the apocalypse. But is that true? Well, guys, you ate that, gobbled it right on up, didn't you? And Speedy's off to, check on the birdies, as I see. Spooky, you're just too full to move. And Cleo, you're going to make sure nobody else comes up. Well, I guess Spooky went back up to the plate to lick up every last crumb now that Cleo wandered off. Cleo is the boss. But I was talking to Spooky some this morning when I was eating my little breakfast biscuit and having my coffee out here on the front porch with them. And I asked him what he thought. What did the Kitty Krew National Security Council think of the solar lunar eclipse? Yeah, well, like I say, it's happening on April the 8th. Yes, it is. And I don't know what all the hype is about. Like I say, there's many who think it's biblical. But I've seen that happen every eclipse that we've had. But to be honest, this happens quite often. Now granted, the last time a complete lunar solar eclipse crossed the U.S., you might think was a long, long time. But then you would wonder too, why we're still all here. Because some say it's the warning, a predecessor of a giant meteor to hit. I've actually seen thumbnails that show it on their channels with a meteor striking the earth. But the last lunar solar eclipse to cross the U.S. happened 6 years, 7 months, and 18 days ago. Yes, it did. It was the same type of eclipse. It crossed from the U.S., from Oregon to South Carolina. Yes, it did. And I remember it well. And we're still all here. And if you look up that date, 6 years, 7 months, and 18 days ago from today, you'll find it was just a regular day. Nope, but something special is, this time, there'll not be another lunar solar eclipse to cross the U.S. in 20 years. So we're going to have a long, long time to wait. But does that mean there won't be other lunar solar eclipses visible from the Earth? Well, there will be. They just won't be visible from the U.S. And if you track all this, many call it space weather. You know, it's astronomy. Lunar eclipses happen occasionally, from time to time. I don't keep up with all that. But over my lifetime, there have been many, many of them. And we're still all here. So I'm not really worried about it. No, it's not signaling the coming of our Lord. That too, some have said. Of course, I can remember in recent ones, it's been said too. There's, you know, we can always hope and have wishful thinking. Because one day, he will come. It was just one of those interesting things on the comments here of late that I was asked about. You know, what did I think? Now you'll see here of late, especially on YouTube, where they've come out, the Oklahoma National Guard has been called out, the Arkansas National Guard has been called out, police have been told to reinforce, come out in masses and put on duty. The citizens have been told to prep up for 2 weeks or more. Food, water, and fuel, and all those things too. Yep, I've watched it and read it as well. The National Guard's not being called out because there's going to be some catastrophic space event, a meteor strike, or what have you, or Nibiru popping up in our skies, or the moon colliding into the Earth. Nope. They're expecting extremely large crowds of people. Many people have already made their travel plans because this is a big event every time, no matter where it happens throughout the world. And from what I can find, that's the reason they're bringing out some of the National Guard. They haven't activated every last person or personnel in any state's National Guard. So that's my thoughts on it, based on what I could dig into and find out about. But hey, it looks like the Kitty Krew has finished up their plate, and now they're relaxing on the front porch at my feet. Speedy, she's checking in on her birdie friends. Cleo and Spooky, you're hanging in there, aren't you? Well, I just wanted to come out, as I have been doing now, watch them eat their food so the doggies don't steal it all away from them. Now I'm going to grab their plate and head her on in, because now I got to fix up Gracie's supper and mine as well. So, I hope it's a beautiful day in your neighborhood, wherever you are in the US of A, or in this big wide world of ours too. And folks, I think we'll all be here. That's my firm belief. On April the 9th. I've got a follow-up pre-op appointment on April the 29th. I'm thinking I'll make it. So if you have appointments on or beyond April the 8th, I would continue on with the belief that you'll make them too. So yep, let's pick up the plate and head her on in, wash it up, and let's get our supper going on too. So that's all we have for you on this particular day in Mr. Tom's neighborhood. Well guys, I'm heading her on in. You want to tell your friends and family thank you, and as always, to take care and stay safe, and God bless them all, and we love them too. Cleo, why does she got to start to clean up on camera? My Cleo. Pardon Cleo for that. But yeah, until we all see you on that next video and episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood, y'all take care. Stay safe, and God bless you all. Because we love you for all you do, and it's never expected, but we want to thank you. Goodbye for now. Ooh, the bees are working hard on those blueberries. Ooh, I can't wait. We're going to have, I think, a tremendous crop. Later all.